Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. And there's been a bit of an update with regards to Operation Branchform. The police are looking rather deeply, scrutinising, in fact, that video, that infamous video of Nicola Sturgeon, where she was sitting in somebody's front room and she was raging about that nobody must ever question or look at the finances. If anyone ever says, always just tell them it's everything's fine. Don't let them look at them. Don't let them question them. Make sure that nobody in the party questions them. Things like that. Well, the police are now looking at that video where she was really angry that anyone dare question her keeping of the books, as it were. She was very defensive about it. Now, presumably, of course, it's because she knew what a parlous state the books were in, and that she knew there was an awful lot of perhaps dodgy stuff in there. Who knows? Maybe. Got to cover myself. But nonetheless, the police are now questioning everyone involved again, but particularly about the books mentioned in that video. So we're going to take a quick look at this. It's not a big story, but I think it's an important one because it does move forward on the tale of, or the ongoing tale of Nicola Sturgeon and the perils of being filmed and the perils of the truth coming out. And this is the example I give often of why the SNP don't like ever telling the truth, in case accidentally they do. Here goes. So, Nicola Sturgeon's rage video defending SNP finances is under scrutiny for Operation Branchform cops. They're having a look at it. Now, we've all seen it. It came out some time ago now, about a year ago or so, wasn't it? And she was sitting there and she was like, oh, no, and doing all that. And we puckered mouth like a dog's bottom, angry. You could tell a little glare in her eyes as she was being asked, and how it was important that nobody ever dare question what's going on. It just at the time stunk, and it stinks to this day. Detectives investigating the SNP finances are quizzing witnesses about the video of the former First Minister warning members not to publicly air concerns about the party accounts. There was a lot of people concerned. A lot of people were very worried that there wasn't enough money there, that the cash flow wasn't there, that various things had appeared within the books that perhaps should not have appeared, or that some of the expenses were questionable, that sort of thing. And she jumped down, she clamped down on that. You must not talk about it, you must keep it secret. And that, of course, is the SNP way. Secrecy at all things. Anyway, Operation Branchform cops are scrutinising a controversial video involving Nicola Sturgeon raging about SNP members airing concerns about the finances of the party. And it's been revealed that witnesses are being quizzed over the footage, which could link the former First Minister to fraud claims and detail whether she had access to the accounts being investigated. Yeah, I undoubtedly think she did. Obviously, Peter Murrell was technically the master of coin, but he would have obeyed her in all things. She would have made sure that things happened, whether anyone else agreed with them or not. She saw herself as the SNP being her vehicle, her party. There was no one else was to have a say. She was in total control. And when you have one person in total control like that, a dictatorship, it reminds you so much of what went on in Germany in the 30s. And after all, the politics are very, very similar. Detectives have been probing the accounts of the Nationalist Party since 2021 after complaints were made about whether it illegally spent £600,000 of cash, which was meant to be ring-fenced for second independence referendum. Now, who made the complaints? Well, it was SNP members. And so, the SNP at the moment now, they can't really criticise the people who made the complaints because they'd be criticising their own members. And that's not a good look, is it? The optics on that are not great. Anyway, it's led to the arrest of Miss Sturgeon, Peter Murrell and Colin Beattie, as we all know. Now, the Sunday Mail have reported that cops are focusing on a video that involves the former First Minister hitting back at financial claims made about the SNP. She raged that party finances, and in her words, have never been stronger, and added there are no reasons for people to be concerned about the party's finances, and all of us need to be careful about not suggesting that there is. The video was from a National Executive Committee meeting in 2021. And her angry statement came after 3 members of her Finance and Audit Committee resigned in protest because they were refused access to the books. Newly appointed Treasurer Douglas Chapman also quit over similar concerns. Now, if you are not letting your own accounts team examine the books, there is only one reason. And I'm speaking here as someone with, God, 100 years of experience in accounts, from practice side, auditing, through to the commercial side, management accounts, running accounts office, prepping annual returns. I'm telling you now, if you are dodgy enough and you're not letting people access the books, there is one reason, and one reason only. It is the only reason, and it isn't commercial sensitivities. It's because there is a great deal of crime. There is a great deal of embezzlement, of fraud, of malpractice. There is something deep and rotten at the heart of those books, and that is the only reason you do not let people examine them. And I think we're all, wise enough in the ways of the world to know that that's exactly the case, and that's exactly what everyone suspects. Anyway, just a few months later, the first few police complaints about missing money were made, and cops launched an investigation into this. Now officers are asking detailed questions about the tape and whether it can shed light on whether Miss Sturgeon had full knowledge of the accounts. And if you watch the tape, yes, it's obvious that she did. It's obvious she knows full well what's going on from what she's saying. The revelation comes on the back of the reports that police are also re-interviewing witnesses for up to a 4th time as they attempt to get to the bottom of the scandal. And all 3 nationalist figures who have been arrested have all denied all wrongdoing. But they're going to deny it, aren't they? Then it's talking about the home being raided, we all know, the offices and blah, 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 blah. Not interested in that. Done it to death. Anyway, the video is significant because detectives have referred to it repeatedly, wanting to know what people who were on the NEC ruling body took from what Nicola Sturgeon was saying. They want to get to the bottom of whether it's proof she had access to and did in fact access account information, or whether she was just merely speaking as to what she believed to be the case about the accounts. Operation Branchform is focused on how cash raised in 17 and 19 as part of the referendum has been spent. Well, we know it's been spent on electric Jaguars and motorhomes and expensive pens and trips and all sorts of stuff. All stuff that it was not meant to be spent on. And at that moment, fraud. And we're just covering the things that we're doing. So yeah, there we go. We all know exactly what's going on. We all know exactly who's to blame. And we all know that everybody at the top knew. It was a little cabal. 3 or 4 of them involved. And I'd love to see all of them arrested, charged, prosecuted, found guilty and jailed. Don't care how long for. Just jail them. Coming up. It's always awkward for people like Nicola Sturgeon when the truth comes out, because the truth for them is always awful. They're so shrouded in secrecy and lies because they cannot, dare not, must not reveal their true natures. They are awful human beings. And she undoubtedly knew. She undoubtedly knew what was going on. The fraud, the embezzlement, the dodginess, it was all there. And it's quite clear to see. And that ultimately is why nobody was allowed to see the books. And now it's all come back to bite them. Isn't life wonderful? It's been a good Sunday so far. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Do please hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment, please share the video, and I'll speak to you later. Bye.